soft homemade flour tortillas, and beans. I'm making top tier bean and cheese burritos. Okay, I'm working out of my cookbook today, and here's the recipe for the dough that I'm about to make. This is around 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Check the description below, and to that I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon salt. Give that a mix. You could use a 1/4 cup of cooking oil or a 1/3 cup of butter, softened butter. Shortening or lard works with this. I'm just going to break that apart. Hot water, starting with a cup. And I'm just going to combine. Go. Now I'm going to knead until the dough comes together. You want to make sure the dough is soft and pliable. If it's too stiff, you need more water. I didn't even add flour to the work surface because eventually everything's just going to come together. I'm going to knead for about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to make my dough balls like that. Place it right into the bowl. And then you repeat the process and divide the dough. Okay, last one in. I didn't even count, I just divided them. You can get somewhere between like 14, maybe 20, depending how big or small you make the dough balls. I'm going to place a damp tea cloth or a damp paper towel over these. Let them rest for minimum 15 minutes. I have other things to do. 20 minutes is how long I'm going to let these rest. Okay, so I'm going to let the dough rest, but in the meantime, I want to share some information. So if you want a more detailed recipe video for flour tortillas, I have posted several throughout the years in different ways and variations you can make them. Check the description below for that link. Also, if you want to support my cookbook that I self-published like 5 years ago, a lot of you already have it, which I thank you so much for that. But if you are interested, I will put a link or just information about that below. But if you don't want to purchase the entire cookbook, I get that. I have a digital recipe for the soft flour tortillas that you can purchase, just the singular recipe. Like I said, check the description below for all the information to find your way, and you might find it helpful. Okay, so these are soft and pliable, ready to roll out. These have been resting. After I rolled them out, I like to rest them and onto a preheated griddle. Well, fail. There we go. And this is my electric griddle that I work with. I have it set to the highest heat setting. Let me turn the light down here. And you want to make sure that it's preheated enough for the dough to react within like the first 5 seconds, 5 or 10 seconds, just like this. And I'm just going to cook on both sides. And if you have a good, soft, tender dough that has rested, it's well rested, you will get these air pockets. And then I'm gonna, let's see, flip. There we go. I always put them in this basket, just like that. And then we close it, and then you repeat the process. There we go. Hot, hot, hot. Okay, so I have chopped onion, tomato, a jalapeno, and remember my last video when I boiled beans? I showed you how to make rice and beans. Well, I freezer prepped these and they've thawed, so this is what I'm going to use today to make the bean burritos. And I'm just going to add fresh ingredients, season, and that's it. Gonna add a pinch of salt. And now I'm going to just saute. Okay, going in with the beans. Oh, still kind of frozen. I'm just gonna let these simmer cook before I start to mash them. I do want a little bit of salt. Season your beans however you like. Okay, so the cheese I'm using today is Colby Jack. Use whatever you like. Sometimes I use Oaxaca, queso fresco. Sometimes if I have American cheese, I'll use it. This was on sale. This is what I'm working with. So the beans are done. Refried beans can be seasoned how you like, and it's literally one of my favorite ways to make them. And cheese. If you want more beans, there we go. Bean and cheese burritos, so easy, so good. Bean and cheese burritos are top tier. Now let me show you another variation on easy burritos. So I am going to recreate those beef and bean burritos. My son likes those. I actually like those when I don't feel like cooking, but I'm going to recreate and freezer prep those at home. So here we go. Okay, so let's make these burritos. This is almost 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 pounds of ground beef. I have leftover refried beans and black beans. I made these black beans and froze them and kind of meal prepped them not too long ago when I did burrito bowls, and I just thawed the black beans, but you can just use pinto beans. You can boil your own pinto beans. These were leftover refried beans, and then like I said, I had the black beans. I'm also going to be adding some beef bouillon powder, fancy light chili powder, ground cumin, granulated onion powder, and some garlic powder with salt and pepper blend. And let's just put it together. For the tortillas, I'm using store-bought burrito size. You definitely can make these from scratch. I do all the time. I'll link a video for you somewhere in the description, but this is what we're going with today. Okay, so preheat your pan. Add a little cooking oil if you're working with lean ground beef. Then we're going to go in. Let that brown. Okay, just kind of break it apart. I'm going to give it a flip. This is all the seasonings that I mentioned earlier. Check the description below for the measurements or what I used. I'm going to add a little bit of smoked paprika. So I think what I'm going to do, I like black beans, but I have these left over. I think I'm going to add just a little bit of the refried beans and add this whole container of black beans. Okay, so I have my refried beans in, and now all of the black beans. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And now just reheat these. I might add a little bit of water, maybe like a half cup, and let it simmer until everything gets really cooked. And you kind of want it just mushy. You know what, on second thought, I'm just going to add all the refried beans. I really want this to be packed with like fiber from the beans and the savory meat. So if you were working with canned beans, I would say 2 cans of your favorite beans. Whether it be whole pinto, refried, black beans, it's up to you. I'm going to add water. That should be enough. I added a little bit of salt and pepper into the mix. And I'm going to let this simmer until it thickens and everything just tastes great and is heated through. Okay, I'm going to shut off the heat, and this is done. And I'm going to let this kind of set and cool before we start to assemble the burritos. Okay, so I think it should be cooled. Let's start assembling the burritos. So, yeah, because it kind of curls up that way. At the rate that I'm filling these, hopefully I get at least 8. Okay. Let me pull back a little bit so I can, there we go. Okay, I think this one was better. Yeah, that's better. Like that? Yeah. So I managed to get 10, and I'm gonna wrap them in parchment paper and put them in the freezer. They are freezer prepped, but here I put some cheese in a nonstick pan. I'm gonna do like a grilled cheese burrito, and this is probably like maybe a half cup to 2/3 cup. I'll put this a little bit lower, and I'm gonna let this start melting and get crispy. Okay, this one, I'm gonna put it like right there. Just, yeah, give that like a minute or so. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to try to wrap this in like the melty, crispy cheese. Here we go. Okay, let's see if I can, oh, yeah. So, I have no idea what I'm doing. I really want this to work though. Oh my God, it's working. But it's still kind of stuck. Oh yeah, that needs to still cook. Oh. I'm gonna flip this around. Oh, that looks good. Grilled cheese burrito. Ah. Ew. Not what I wanted to happen. Toasty. Here we go. That's good. Okay, I got parchment paper, and I'm gonna wrap these. Maybe I made this parchment paper too big, but it'll do what I need it to do here. And there we go. It's wrapped. Maybe it's easier this way. Okay, now they go into my baggie, my freezer bag. Maybe if I do them this way. These ready for the freezer. Not bad. To reheat them, all you would need to do is take them out of the freezer, pop them into the air fryer, into the oven, maybe like 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes, or until they're cooked in the center or reheated in the center and a little crispy on the outside. That's how you do it. Not bad. Meanwhile, this grilled cheese burrito, beef and bean burrito, is just top notch, top drawer. Mmm.